The rain hammered against Pete's diner windows like Seattle was washing away the day's mistakes. Marcus Donovan sat across from his 6-year-old son, Tyler, watching him drag a French fry through ketchup. After 3 hours of hostile business meetings where investors questioned his lifestyle choices, Marcus just wanted this quiet moment with his boy. The bell chimed, and 2 figures stumbled inside. A man in mud-stained work clothes, dark hair plastered to his forehead, holding a little girl's hand. David Martinez looked around the warm diner, counting crumpled bills in his palm. His daughter Sophia pressed against his side, trying to stay warm. David approached the counter with careful steps. His voice barely whispered when he asked for water. Sophia tugged at her father's work shirt. "Dad, I'm hungry." The words almost vanished into the diner's noise. But Tyler heard them. The boy stopped chewing and turned toward the corner table. Tyler looked at Sophia, then at his own plate, full of untouched fries and a half-eaten burger. Tyler looked at his father with genuine hope. "Dad, can I share my food with them?" The question hit Marcus like a warm current. He hadn't expected such direct, pure compassion. Marcus put his hand on Tyler's shoulder and smiled. "Let's invite them to eat with us." Tyler's face lit up. He crossed the diner and stopped in front of David and Sophia's table. "Hi, do you want to add with us?" "My dad said you can." David blinked, confused by this unexpected kindness. What Marcus approached with a gentle smile. "Would you like to have dinner with us?" David's face flushed. "No, thank you. We can't. Please." Tyler asked Sophia, "I have toys I can show you later." Marcus crouched to David's level. "No pressure, but we have plenty of food, and it would be nice for the kids." David looked at Sophia, then at Marcus, finding nothing but genuine kindness. "All right, thank you." When they reached this table, Marcus ordered another full meal for Sophia. The girl carefully picked up her fork and began eating slowly, genuinely hungry but polite. Tyler chatted between bites. "Do you like cars? I have a red one." "I've never had a toy car," Sophia said quietly. "Then you can play with mine," Tyler said, pulling the metal car from his pocket. Sophia's eyes sparkled like stars. Marcus watched something special happening. It was connection, pure humanity. David watched his daughter with the emotions tightening in his chest. Marcus nudged the fries closer to David. "Eat. They're still warm." "Thank you," David said softly. Tyler extended the invitation. Marcus said, "I just followed his lead." David smiled for the first time since entering. "He's very kind. I learned from him," Marcus replied, watching Tyler make the car fly while Sophia laughed. They continued eating as conversation flowed naturally. Marcus asked simple questions about David's work, Sophia's school. David answered without going into struggles. When they finished, Sophia sighed contentedly. "That was delicious. Do you want dessert?" Marcus asked. Sophia's eyes lit up, but David quickly answered, "No, thank you. You've done too much already." "That's okay, but if you want to come back, we usually stop by on Sundays." The kids seemed to enjoy playing together. Sophia was now holding Tyler's car like precious treasure. "Perhaps," David said without promising. After a few minutes, David stood. "Sophia, sweetheart, we need to go." Sophia carefully gave the car back to Tyler. "Thank you for letting me play." "Keep it," Tyler said, pushing it back. "This one is yours now." Sophia looked at her father uncertainly. David was visibly touched but couldn't deny her this kindness. "All right, but thank him properly." Sophia gave Tyler a tight hug. "Thank you so much." Tyler turned red but smiled broadly. "You're welcome." David prepared to leave. Reaching for crumpled bills. "Let me pay for Sophia's part." Marcus raised his hand gently. "No need. It was our pleasure." David slowly put the money away. "Thank you, Marcus, from the bottom of my heart. Until next time." "David." They left with Sophia waving through the window, clutching the red car. Tyler waved back until they disappeared into the Seattle evening. "You know what, Tyler? You're incredible." Tyler shrugged, still looking out the window. She was hungry. "Dad, Marcus ran his hand through his son's hair, feeling his heart swell with pride. Sometimes the most important lessons come from the smallest teachers. That night, two families left with hearts lighter than when they entered. Marcus realized that in teaching his son about compassion, Tyler had reminded him what truly mattered in life. Sometimes kindness doesn't need a reason. Sometimes bridges built with simple gestures become foundations for something far more meaningful than we could ever imagine. If this story touched your heart, subscribe to Heart Stories, where every connection begins with courage and every kindness creates ripples that change lives forever. David's alarm buzzed at 5:30. He turned it off before it could wake Sophia, staring at the water stain on his apartment ceiling. His supervisor's message waited. Job's site shut down today. Heavy rain. That was the third canceled day this week. He spent the morning calling contractors, visiting construction sites, asking for work. Most said no. By noon, David had walked 12 blocks and earned nothing. His stomach cramped from emptiness, but he had money for either his lunch or Sophia's dinner. Not both. The choice wasn't really a choice. Sophia played quietly with Tyler's red car when he returned, making soft engine sounds. "Poppy, look what Tyler's car can do." She created elaborate obstacle courses over her coloring books. "Did you have a good day at work?" Sophia asked innocently. "Very good, mija." The lie came easily because protecting her happiness mattered more than honesty about their circumstances. That evening, Sophia asked the question David dreaded. "Poppy, when can we see Tyler again?" "Maybe soon," he said, though inside he felt the weight of impossibility. Marcus lived in a different world. Sunday arrived gray and drizzly. Marcus and Tyler arrived at Discovery Park early, Tyler climbing equipment while Marcus checked his phone. After an hour, Tyler's energy faded into disappointed confusion. "Maybe they forgot," Tyler said, barely pushing himself on the swing. Just as they prepared to leave, David appeared carrying Sophia on his shoulders, both slightly breathless. "We're sorry we're late." The bus broke down. Tyler's face transformed instantly, running toward them as Marcus followed with relief. "How was your week?" Marcus asked as they walked to their bench. "Long," David said simply. They watched Tyler show Sophia the monkey bars. Marcus noticed David's boots were more scuffed. His jacket had a new tear. "What kind of construction do you do?" "Whatever needs doing. Concrete work mostly, but I frame poor foundations, some electrical." "Sounds like you have a lot of skills. You learn everything when you can't afford to be picky." David's honesty refreshed Marcus after carefully chosen words with business partners. "Tyler thinks Sophia seemed sad last week." David's shoulders tensed. "She's fine. Just tired from school." Tyler and Sophia constructed elaborate ramps with bark, racing the car repeatedly. "They're natural engineers," David said proudly. "Tyler gets that from his mother. I mean, his adoptive mother, my best friend's wife." David looked curious but didn't press. "Tyler's parents died in a car accident when he was 2. I promised I'd take care of him. That's a big promise to keep. Some promises are worth everything." Sophia talked about Tyler constantly. David admitted about his toys, stories, how nice he is. Tyler does the same. Marcus suggested exchanging numbers for play dates. David hesitated, then agreed. As afternoon continued, Tyler and Sophia's games became elaborate. They built forts, created treasure maps, told fantastical stories. Marcus found himself studying David's quiet intensity, the way he listened completely, moved carefully through the world. "Are you from Seattle originally?" "No. We moved from California when Sophia was a baby. Her mother wanted to be closer to family before she died." David's voice caught slightly. Marcus felt familiar recognition. Loss left marks that shaped how you held remaining loved ones tighter. "It must be hard. Raising her alone? Some days are harder than others." As they prepared to leave, Tyler pulled out a tiny plastic dinosaur. "For you," he told Sophia seriously. "So you have something during the week." Sophia accepted it reverently. "Thank you. Friends share things," Tyler explained matter-of-factly. Marcus offered a ride home as darkness fell. David initially refused but accepted seeing Sophia's tiredness. Driving through Seattle's evening traffic, Marcus tried not to stare at the contrast when they reached David's neighborhood. Older buildings, narrower streets, fewer trees. "See you next Sunday," Marcus called as David gathered Sophia. That night, Marcus sat in his study looking at Seattle's skyline. He thought about David's calloused hands, the way he listened to Tyler, his gentleness with Sophia. Something was happening between them beyond their children's friendship. Two fathers recognizing something vital in each other, a connection transcending their different worlds. Sometimes the most meaningful relationships begin not with dramatic gestures, but with quiet recognition. Two people seeing past circumstances to find shared humanity underneath, reminded that love takes many forms, but its essence remains the same, showing up for those who matter most. The construction site at 4th and Pine was David's biggest job in months. Premium commercial building, steady work for 6 weeks. He arrived early, eager to secure his spot on the crew. What he didn't expect was seeing Marcus Donovan's name on the developer sign. David stood outside the sales office, reading the brass plaque announcing Donovan Tech Solutions as primary investor. His stomach dropped, realizing Marcus's wealth wasn't comfortable middle-class success. This was serious money, corporate money that bought buildings instead of renting apartments. Inside, Marcus stood with investors, wearing a tailored suit that cost more than David made in months. His voice carried confident authority. "The residential units will target young professionals," Marcus was saying. "High-end finishes, smart home integration. We're looking at pre-sales in the 7-figure range." David pressed against the construction trailer, processing what he'd overheard. 7 figures. Marcus casually discussed millions while David had been grateful for a $10 meal. Every gesture of kindness took on different meaning. The extra food wasn't generosity between equals. It was charity from someone so wealthy that helping David's family represented pocket change. David's phone buzzed. "Marcus, looking forward to Sunday at the park. Tyler hasn't stopped talking about Sophia." David stared at the message before turning off his phone without responding. Sophia bounced around their apartment that evening, excited about seeing Tyler. She had drawn him a picture, a crayon masterpiece featuring both children playing under a rainbow. "Are we going to the park tomorrow?" Poppy David looked at his daughter's hopeful face and felt something break inside. How could he explain they didn't belong in Marcus's world? That every moment of friendship had been built on David's ignorance of the vast gap between them? "I'm not sure, Mija. Poppy has things to figure out." Sunday arrived gray and drizzly. David told himself they would stay home, but Sophia kept looking toward the door, clutching Tyler's dinosaur and her drawing. "Is it time to see Tyler?" she asked quietly at 10 o'clock. David's resolve crumbled. He couldn't disappoint her based on his own pride. They arrived an hour late. Tyler spotted them first and came running. "Sophia, I thought you weren't coming." Marcus approached cautiously, sensing something different in David's demeanor. "Everything okay?" "Fine," David said shortly, "just running behind." They walked toward the playground, but David kept distance, standing apart while children played. Marcus tried starting conversations, but David's responses remained brief and distant. After an hour, David announced they needed to leave early. Sophia protested, but David was already gathering her jacket. "Is everything all right?" Marcus asked, following toward the parking area. "Everything's fine." "Did I do something wrong?" The question stopped David. Marcus's genuine confusion was worse than anger would have been. "You didn't do anything wrong. We just live in different worlds." "What does that mean?" Marcus stepped closer, lowering his voice so children wouldn't overhear. "David, talk to me. What happened? I saw you at the construction site, your building project." Understanding dawned across Marcus's features. "David, I can't explain. There's nothing to explain. You're rich, really rich, and I'm the guy who builds your buildings. Let's not pretend we're friends." Marcus looked genuinely distressed. "My money doesn't change who I am, doesn't it? Everything comes easy for you, the dinners, gifts for Sophia, rides home. It's nothing because you have so much." "That's not true." David's voice rose before he caught himself. "Look, Marcus, You're a good guy. Tyler is great, but Sophia and I don't need your charity. It's not charity, it's friendship. David shook his head. Real friendship happens between equals. We're not equals. We never were. He walked toward the bus stop, Sophia skipping beside him, confused but not questioning her father's decision. Marcus stood watching them leave, Tyler asking why they had to go early. That week passed slowly. Tyler kept asking about Sophia while Marcus checked his phone for messages that never came. Sophia asked about Tyler daily, carrying his dinosaur everywhere. David watched his daughter's confusion and felt guilty for depriving her of friendship based on wounded pride. But every time he considered calling Marcus, he remembered the casual way Marcus discussed millions while David worried about rent. The next Sunday, Marcus and Tyler waited at Discovery Park for 2 hours. Tyler became increasingly despondent, realizing his friend wasn't coming. Maybe they're sick, Tyler suggested hopefully. On their way home, Tyler cried quietly. Not dramatic tears, but genuine sobs of loss. Marcus held his heartbroken son, feeling his own throat tighten. His wealth meant nothing if it created barriers between him and people he cared about. But he understood David's pride wasn't just about money, it was about dignity. Maintaining self-worth in a world that often valued people by bank accounts rather than character. Sometimes the greatest obstacles to love aren't external circumstances, but our own fears about worthiness. We convince ourselves that differences make authentic connection impossible, forgetting that the human heart recognizes value having nothing to do with money. The knock came at 8 o'clock Thursday evening. Soft but persistent. Sophia was in pajamas, playing with Tyler's dinosaur while David washed dishes. Through the peephole, David saw Marcus in the hallway. No expensive suit, just jeans and a rain-dampened jacket. He looked tired, uncertain. Marcus, what are you doing here? I need to talk to you, please. Just 5 minutes. David glanced at Sophia, who looked up with sudden hope. Is Tyler here? He's downstairs in the car, Marcus replied, waiting to see if you want to say hello. David's resolution wavered, seeing his daughter's face light up for the first time in 2 weeks. 5 minutes, David said, opening the door. Marcus stepped into the small living room without judgment. The apartment was clean but sparse, furnished with pieces acquired over time. Sophia ran to Marcus and hugged him before David could intervene. I missed you, Uncle Marcus. I missed you too, sweetheart, Marcus replied, voice thick with emotion. Can I see Tyler? Sophia asked hopefully. In a minute. Your dad and I need to talk first. Marcus sat uninvited on David's worn couch, making himself vulnerable. I came to apologize. You don't have anything to apologize for. Yes, I do. I never told you about my money because I was afraid of exactly what happened. Afraid you'd see me differently. David remained standing, arms crossed defensively. Don't you think I had a right to know? You're absolutely right. I should have been honest. Marcus looked at his hands. But David, my money doesn't change how I feel about you and Sophia. It doesn't change that Tyler asks about her every day, or that I look forward to our conversations more than anything else. How am I supposed to trust in anything now? How do I know this isn't some rich guy's hobby? Marcus looked up sharply. Is that really what you think of me? I don't know what to think anymore. Marcus stood slowly. Let me tell you something about my money. Yes, I have it. More than I need. But it didn't buy Tyler's love when he was scared and grieving. It didn't teach him kindness or to share with strangers. And it didn't create the connection I feel with you. David's defensive posture softened slightly. You want to know what I see when I look at you? I see a father who works himself to exhaustion for his daughter. I see a man who raises Sophia with love and dignity despite circumstances that would break most people. I see someone who taught his child gratitude and respect regardless of situation. Marcus's voice grew quieter. My money can buy Tyler things, but it can't buy him Sophia's character. It can't create the bond between our children. And it can't manufacture what I feel sitting next to you on that park bench. I felt so stupid though. David admitted, standing outside your building, realizing how naive I'd been. Marcus stepped closer. You are not a charity case. You are one of the strongest, most admirable men I've ever met. The way you care for Sophia, the dignity you maintain, the kindness you show despite having every reason to be bitter. I don't pity you. I respect the hell out of you. David felt tears threatening and looked away. I don't want your money. I'm not offering it. I'm offering friendship. Real friendship. Between two fathers who care about each other. Sophia had abandoned her toys and was listening openly. What about Tyler? Is he sad too? Marcus knelt to her level. Tyler cries every night because he misses you. Sophia looked at her father with wisdom beyond her years. Poppy, can't we be friends again? The simple question broke David's remaining defenses. His daughter's happiness mattered more than wounded pride. You're already good. Mija, the best. Marcus stood slowly. David, I know I should have told you earlier, but everything else between us has been real. The conversations, laughter, the way our kids love each other. That's not something money can buy or fake. I was scared, David admitted, not just of the money, but of how much I was starting to care about you both. Marcus showed surprise and hope. It doesn't have to be too good to be true. It can just be good. Real and good and worth protecting. Can Tyler come up? David asked finally. When Tyler appeared, Sophia launched herself at him with such enthusiasm both children tumbled onto carpet, laughing hysterically. I brought you something, Tyler announced, producing a tiny plastic cat. Friends always bring presents when they've been apart. David and Marcus watched their children reconnect with easy forgiveness that came naturally to kids. I'm sorry, David said quietly, for shutting you out, for not trusting you. I understand why you did it, and I'm sorry for not being completely honest from the start. So where do we go from here? David asked. Forward, Marcus said simply, as friends, as whatever we want to be. Sometimes the greatest courage isn't in building walls to protect ourselves, but in allowing those walls to come down. Sometimes admitting our fears makes us stronger than hiding them. 6 months later, David stood in Marcus's kitchen making coffee while morning light streamed through windows overlooking Elliott Bay. The routine had developed naturally until Sophia started asking why they had to go home every night. Tyler appeared in pajamas, hair sticking up, and climbed onto David's lap as if he'd been doing it forever. Sophia followed, already dressed, chattering in Spanish to Marcus, who responded with enthusiastic but grammatically questionable attempts. Buenos dias, Papa David, Tyler said solemnly. Buenos dias, mijo, David replied, ruffling Tyler's hair. The family endearments had evolved gradually. Tyler called David Papa David. Sophia settled on Daddy Marcus because, as she explained, Tyler already had the good dad name and sharing was important. Marcus appeared last, showered and dressed for work, but moved slowly through his routine, reluctant to leave the warm chaos of their breakfast table. Big presentation today, David asked. The board wants to see the new app interface, but tonight we're still on for Tyler's school play, right? Wouldn't miss it. That evening, sitting between Marcus and Sophia in the elementary auditorium, David watched Tyler stand perfectly still as a tree while other children performed around him. Tyler took his role seriously, swaying during wind scenes and remaining steadfast during storms. He's the best tree ever, Sophia whispered loudly. Marcus reached over and squeezed David's hand. A year ago, David would have pulled away. Now he squeezed back, proud of their family, after ice cream celebrating Tyler's dramatic debut. Marcus said carefully, David and I have been talking about some changes, good changes. Both children gave him full attention. We think it might be time for Sophia and Papa David to move in officially, so we could all live together all the time. Both children erupted into cheers so loud other customers stared. Sophia bounced while Tyler performed a victory dance with significant arm movements. Does that mean we'll be a real family? Sophia asked. We're already a real family, David said gently. This just means we'll have the same address. The first morning they all woke up in the same house, David found Marcus staring at his coffee as if he couldn't believe his good fortune. "Regrets?" David asked quietly. Marcus smiled. "Only that we waited so long." David slipped his arms around Marcus's waist, still amazed this level of happiness was possible. They had learned to be vulnerable with each other, to trust that their differences made them stronger rather than incompatible. Marcus and David had legally adopted each other's children within their first year together. The paperwork was complex, but the emotional reality was simple. They were family in every way that mattered. A year later, they stood in Discovery Park at the same spot where their friendship had deepened. The children ran toward the playground, older but still delighting in shared adventures. Marcus showed David a photo from their first diner meeting. "Look how far we've come. We were so scared," David said. "Scared of trusting, hoping, believing we deserved good things." Both men had learned that vulnerability wasn't weakness, but the foundation of authentic connection. Love multiplied rather than divided when shared among four people. That evening, sitting on their deck overlooking Puget Sound, Marcus and David watched Seattle's lights reflect on the water. "What happens to us in 20 years?" David asked. "Tyler will be finishing college, probably bringing home romantic interests for us to embarrass him in front of. Sophia will be heading to graduate school, completely fluent in 3 languages. And us, we'll be those annoying couples who finish each other's sentences and still hold hands in public." David laughed. "I can live with that." Sometimes the most extraordinary love stories begin with the simplest gestures. A child noticing another child's hunger, a father teaching his son to share, 2 men learning that differences could become strengths when approached with openness rather than fear. Years later, when Tyler and Sophia told how their family came together, they always began. "It started when my brother shared his dinner with a hungry girl, and our dads remembered that kindness is the most important thing you can teach your children." In a world often divided by difference, Marcus and David had created something beautiful, a family built on chosen love, mutual respect, and the radical belief that home isn't a place but the people who see you clearly and choose to stay. Have you ever experienced a moment when simple kindness opened a door to something life-changing? Sometimes the most profound connections begin with the smallest gestures of care. If this story reminded you that love takes many forms but always starts with seeing others truly, we invite you to share it with someone who might need that reminder today. Subscribe to Heart Stories, where every ending becomes a new beginning and every story celebrates the courage it takes to build a family from love.